At some point in the last decade, a quiet consensus formed among football people, managers, analysts, other players, the kind of people who watch the game for a living, and don't hand out compliments easily. The consensus was this: Kevin De Bruyne might be the best midfielder in the world. Not one of the best. The best, a player so complete, the passing, the vision, the shooting, the work rate, the reading of space, that building a team around him felt less like a tactical choice, and more like an obvious obligation. And yet Belgium have never won a World Cup. Their golden generation, the most talented group of players the country has ever produced, ranked #1 in the world for years, peaked, flickered, and faded without a trophy to show for it. This is De Bruyne's World Cup story. It is brilliant and frustrating in equal measure, and it says something important about how football can be simultaneously fair and completely, brutally unfair. Brazil 2014. Belgium hadn't been to a World Cup since 2002, 12 years on the outside, 12 years of watching other nations compete while a generation of genuinely talented Belgian players came of age with nowhere to show it. By 2014, the pieces were finally in place. Eden Hazard, Romelu Lukaku, Axel Witsel, Thibaut Courtois, Vincent Kompany, and in behind all of them, pulling strings and making the whole thing function, Kevin De Bruyne. He was 22, already at Wolfsburg, already exceptional, already someone Premier League clubs were taking serious notice of. Belgium won all 3 group matches. De Bruyne was central to everything, finding pockets of space, switching play, driving forward when the team needed a different gear. Then the United States in the round of 16. Extra time. The match level and Belgium needing someone to break it open. De Bruyne received the ball on the left, drove into the box, and finished with his right foot past the goalkeeper. 2-0. Belgium through. They lost to Argentina in the quarterfinals. Huygens' early goal proving the difference. But De Bruyne had announced himself on the biggest stage, composed, creative, unafraid. The golden generation was just getting started. Russia 2018. This was supposed to be the year. Belgium arrived in Russia ranked 3rd in the world. On paper, their squad had no obvious weaknesses. Courtois in goal. A back four with pace and experience. Hazard and Lukaku in the attacking third. De Bruyne orchestrating everything from midfield. They were favorites. Not in the reckless way, in the measured, considered way that actually means something. The group stage was routine. Belgium topped it comfortably. Then Japan in the round of 16, a match that very nearly became one of the great upsets in World Cup history. Japan led 2-0. Belgium came back to win 3-2 with a goal in the final minutes. Survive and advance. Brazil in the quarter-finals. Brazil, the 5-time champions Neymar, Coutinho, Firmino, a side built to win tournaments and carrying the weight of national expectation. De Bruyne was everywhere that afternoon. The goal came just after the hour mark. Belgium on the counter. The ball worked quickly to De Bruyne arriving from deep, and he struck it first time from outside the area, low, hard, into the bottom corner. It was the kind of finish that goalkeepers can't do anything about. The kind that wins quarter-finals. Belgium beat Brazil 2-1. They were 4 games from the World Cup. France ended it in the semi-final 1-0. Umtiti header from a corner, and France, organized, disciplined, tactically suffocating, shut the game down from there. Belgium beat England in the 3rd-place match. Bronze medal. Best finish in their history, but standing in the tunnel after the France defeat, De Bruyne knew what had just slipped away. He didn't say much publicly. He rarely does. Qatar 2022, the golden generation's last stand. They were older now. Some of them significantly. The squad that had looked so deep and dangerous in 2018 had aged together, and in Qatar the limitations were visible in a way they hadn't been before. Belgium beat Canada in the group stage. De Bruyne imperious in that match, a reminder of what he could still do, but lost to Morocco and drew with Croatia. Out in the group stage. A generation that had spent years ranked #1 in the world, that had reached a World Cup semi-final, that had produced some of the finest individual players in the game, eliminated before the knockouts. De Bruyne, to his credit, was blunt afterward. He said the golden generation had failed, not softened it, not deflected, failed. That kind of honesty is rarer than it should be in football. He will be 34 when the 2026 World Cup begins. Whether he makes it there depends on form, fitness, and whether Belgium's next cycle produces a squad worthy of a tournament run. Those are not certainties. But De Bruyne still at Manchester City, still performing at a level most midfielders half his age can't match, has never given anyone a reason to write him off prematurely. If he goes to 2026, it will be as the elder statesman, the experienced hand guiding a younger generation through their first World Cup. A different role, but one that suits his intelligence and his reading of the game. And maybe, just maybe, the pieces fall differently this time. Here is what makes De Bruyne's World Cup story genuinely worth examining. It isn't a tragedy. He reached a semi-final. He scored against Brazil. He won a bronze medal. He was at his peak, as good as any midfielder at any World Cup in recent memory. But football has a way of being indifferent to individual brilliance. You can do everything right, read the game perfectly, make the right pass, create the right chance, score the right goal, and still end up on the wrong side of a 1-0 defeat to a Umtiti header. That's the sport. That's the World Cup. Specifically, De Bruyne played 4 years in one of the finest club sides ever assembled, winning title after title at Manchester City. He has been as decorated as any midfielder of his era at club level. The World Cup just never gave him the ending the performances deserve. Whether 2026 changes that, whether there's one more chapter in this story, is the question Belgian football is quietly asking itself. The answer will come soon enough. More deep dives on football's greatest stories. Subscribe and you won't miss them.